The cicadas sang in the warm summer breeze while you held onto Tokoyami's hand, your arm entwined in his while he led you through what you believed was a natural reserve. Unlike the city streets where the bustle of footsteps and traffic would pervade your ears, the cicadas sung their repetitive tune, and the air felt clearer in your lungs. You gripped a little tighter on Tokoyami's hand, warranting him to bring both of his gently onto yours, a small comfort while you traversed in areas you weren't familiar with as of yet.
How far away is it again?
You asked, curious, feeling the rigid surface of the footpath ahead with your white cane in hand.
We're not far,
informed Tokoyami with a steady tone.
No need to fret.
Easier said than done.
You chimed, while you anticipated a few minor obstacles on the footpath, tripping on a small stone momentarily before Tokoyami gripped onto your arm, holding you from falling. You lightly chuckled at your tumble, feeling the gentle pull from Tokoyami while you righted yourself back up onto your feet. For the few years you had come to learn about the strange city that was Musatafu, you had learned how considerate of a person Fumikage Tokoyami was, while working alongside him under Hawks' agency. You smiled at the thought, recalling the surprise in his voice when the both of you met for the first time. After all, despite the jet lag, the very few words you could speak in conversation made for a memorable introduction. Even so that he spoke a few words in your native tongue. It was strange to hear Norwegian accented differently. It also came to no surprise for you about his reaction to your own handicap. Blindness in a hero was uncommon. However, you were just as surprised when you felt what he looked like. You had never come across anyone like him before. The chuckles you could hear coming from Hawks' throat only painted a picture on what the both of you looked like between each other. Surprise, shock, and curiosity. Tokoyami continued to hold onto your hand and arm along the footpath while you gently swung your white cane ahead, the path opening up to an open field. You felt the incline not too long ago, assuming that he was leading you up a hill until your feet stepped off the path and onto the soft, cool grass. The sound of trees overhead slowly dissipated from your hearing, now replaced by the sound of the summer breeze blowing through the grass below.
Where are we?
You asked before you felt Tokoyami stop in his tracks. He slowly released you, leaving you before he pulled out a blanket to lay atop the grass. You could hear the crunch of it beneath his feet, before he returns to you, his hand gently grabbing onto yours to lead.
A special place of mine,
he answered while he led you to the now laid blanket, carefully holding you to sit.
I used to come here on my own just to think, and Dark Shadow has learned not to disturb me as much while we're here.
That's what you think,
piped the creature from behind, catching your ear. You couldn't help but smile at the timbre of his voice. It took a small while for you to realize that he wasn't, in a way, mortal. It made you recognize how special Tokoyami was as a hero.
Nice to hear you again, Hugin.
You greeted with a cheeky smile before you made yourself comfortable on the blanket below, feeling the fibers of its woven material on your fingertips and the warmth of the breeze on your skin. You heard a sigh escape from Dark Shadow, one filled with exasperation. You figured by now he would have gotten used to the nickname. You thought it'd be a compliment, at least. The fabric shifted next to you, listening to Tokoyami's footfalls while he made himself comfortable. You leaned back onto your hands while your mind drifted on their own, enjoying the calm away from the city.
Hey, do you remember that one time we were sent to scout the district outside of Esuha City?
You asked, your eyes staring nowhere in particular while you were recollecting.
What was that little market called that we walked past?
Espa,
answered Tokoyami, curious about the sudden conversation starter down memory lane.
Ha! That's it! We should visit there again sometime. The smells there were really lovely. I almost thought they sold fiskeboller. They almost tasted like them.
Tokoyami's eyes looked directly into yours. Though you were blind, the expressions were clear as day. Your smile felt sadder than normal, and the light tone in your voice felt a little forced.
I've heard that you've grown a little homesick the last couple of weeks.
He bluntly commented, his soothing voice hitting your ears with a pleasant thrum.
Huh?
It's not a secret back at the agency.
You inwardly laughed, a little embarrassed and even more so feeling a little less cheery than you were moments ago.
Well, I may have missed the Aurora Borealis.
You explained.
It has been a few years since I've gotten the chance to see them again. Huh.
You sighed, slightly disappointed when you returned back to your thoughts. Due to a lot of regulation, you found Musutafa to be self-governing around the use of quirks, even so that your transfer included mandatory interviews and registration. It was different to home, where it was a little laxed. You would have been able to see the lights there, but not here. At least if not for the unwarranted use of your quirk. You had no knowledge whether the Aurora even reached this side of the world. Tokoyami watched while you laid your head on your knees, hugging them close to your chest. The look of disappointment in your blank eyes resonated with him. After all, being partners over the course of your transfer had taught him more about teamwork and compensating for your handicap, even though it wasn't necessarily a top priority. He had grown to watch a few steps ahead of you, figuratively and literally. He would admit that his self-awareness had risen since working alongside you. His eyes trailed down to your hands on the blanket, reaching out and holding on to them in his. You turned your head towards him, feeling his warm fingertips graze against yours.
You should have a look.
He spoke, catching your ear.
Be quick before it's too late.
You perked your head at Tokoyami's request, your brows furrowing in confusion and concern.
But we're not supposed to use our quirks outside of duty.
You reminded him.
Trust me,
he reassured.
No one will know here.
Yeah, come on.
Continued Dark Shadow.
We're way too far away for anyone to see you.
But
I'll be fine if you're asking.
Interrupted Dark Shadow.
Just hurry up and get it over with.
A squeeze of your hand took you from your apprehension, feeling Tokoyami's thumb stroke the top of your palm. He continued to do so before a small smile appeared on your lips, closing your eyes before you felt your quirk manifest. You felt a warm heat burst from your shoulders, releasing a small pair of wings that grew from your back like a trailing blaze of fire. Opening your eyes, the dark that was your blindness washed away to reveal shades of light. seeing the bright shape of Tokoyami sitting before you. You were now surrounded by light in your eyes and on your back. You were able to see everything, from the tall swaying grass to the faint shade of dark shadow hanging behind Tokoyami's back. But the first thing you noticed was Tokoyami's finger pointing towards the sky. Following the direction of his finger, you looked towards the star-filled landscape, spotting the twinkle of each star hit your eyes in mesmerizing waves. That was until your eyes widened in surprise. Excitement filled your heart while you watched dancing lights in the beautiful skyscape above. There in the night sky swam the aurora borealis, its light dancing in the air amongst the stars. They looked more fluorescent than usual, their different shades cascading through their fluid motion beyond the stardust. You couldn't contain the smile on your face while you continued to watch. It wasn't the same as the ones from home, but in this strange land you now lived, it was the best thing anyone could have done for you.
This is amazing,
you murmured, your eyes watering a little.
You deserve a piece of home,
replied Tokoyami, seating himself closer to you to allow a shoulder to lean on. You couldn't help but chuckle through your tears, again taking Tokoyami by curiosity while he watched you stare up at the sky in awe.
Great, you broke 'em,
commented Dark Shadow, only to receive a stern yet nonchalant look from Tokoyami, and a chuckle from you.
Oh, thank you guys,
you murmured with a smile, nuzzling your head on Tokoyami's shoulder.
But this is my home now. I'm so glad to have met the both of you.
As quickly as you leant into Tokoyami, he wrapped his arm around you, enjoying the sight of the stars on the empty hillside.
You're welcome, beloved.